Hi, welcome to College Connection. My name is May Hanna and I'm your host, and this show is about UC Claremont College and all the great things that are happening on campus and with our partners. And with that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Bernadette Dietz, Professor of Sociology. Welcome, Bernadette.
Thank you.
And Dr. Victoria Padova, Associate Professor of English. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we are here to talk about the Women's Leadership and Mentoring Program. And so, Bernadette, can you tell us a little bit about the Women to Women Leadership and Mentoring Program and how it came to be?
Well, it started with last year we received a grant to engage in a campus action project. They called it through the American Association of University Women. And so we had a one-semester program that was really successful last year where we paired women with mentors and we provided a little bit of assertiveness training and leadership training and listening skills training, and students really were enthusiastic about it, so we wanted to carry on a program this year and expand the program a little bit.
That's great. And why did you think that there was a need for this program at UC Claremont College?
Well, we have a big population of women students, of course, and many of them are non-traditional students and are parents and women juggling with lots of responsibilities. And through years, we've heard a lot of feedback from those women who needed that additional support, women who needed more information, a more accepting environment and mentorship. And so when the information about this grant came on our campus, Bernadette came up with that idea of responding to that with the grant application that would support our women.
That's fantastic. And this year, this program is also being funded through the College Success Program, it's my understanding?
Well, this program is actually offered through the College Success Program.
Okay, great.
Because the program is open to all Claremont students, irrespective of their academic background, and we're trying to help our students in many different respects. So this program is about the success of women.
Great. And tell us a little bit about what is the College Success Program for those people who are watching and thinking, well, what does that really mean?
We're offering support, academic and otherwise, to those students who may be lost, especially during the first year in college. As we know, half of the student population who drop out of the college actually drop out during the first year. So we're trying to figure out what the problems are, what the issues, to help these students to juggle with those millions of responsibilities and help them academically as well.
And did you have any men that wanted to be part of the program, or how did you decide to focus on just women?
It started last year. The grant was specifically for women students.
Okay.
They had done a research report showing the particular challenges women face in completing their academic careers. So that grant focused on women. And this year we had thought about expanding to include men as well, which we really would like to do. It's a matter of maybe having a little more time to get the program in order, and we can maybe add, hopefully, men to have the opportunity also next year.
And interestingly enough, we've just heard from several men, both faculty and students, who make inquiries about the possibility of being that program offered for men as well.
Great. Well, that'll be something interesting to maybe expand upon next year. So tell us a little bit about the program. Tell us about the history of the program and, you know, how it's sort of made up. I know it's made up of mentors and mentees. That's my understanding.
Well, we started last semester, in the spring semester of 2014, and it was all about peer mentoring. And we had student mentors who have already transitioned to our Uptown campus, and they mentored our first year and second year Claremont students who were either planning on transitioning already or considering transitioning. This year we are opening it to mentors who have already either graduated from Claremont College, are on Clifton campus, or are just successful second year students. And it's open to any mentee. Anybody can be a mentee. Any UC Claremont woman can be a mentee.
Great. And Go ahead.
And we'll have, outside of the mentors and mentees can kind of arrange their own schedules and meet what's convenient for them and engage in activities that really work for them to set goals and action plans. But then we'll also have some group meetings of the full group where we can build a sense of community and discuss together and have some training on maybe communication skills and mentors and mentees working together, and some specific training on assertiveness and leadership. And we thought that would serve women not only in their college education, but once they graduate. Women still earn less than men. If we look at full-time workers, women earn about 80% of male earnings. And some of the research shows that has to do with entry level. When women get out and look for that first job, frequently they're not as demanding at the point of hire to negotiate for a little higher salary.
Sure.
And that's where part of the salary difference seems to enter in, right from that point of hire. So we thought if we empower women with a little more assertiveness training and maybe some leadership training they can use on the job, it may serve them well, and even in the process of working toward promotions too, that women sometimes face barriers. So that was partly why we thought women might be our focus at this point.
And for that purpose also, we had wonderful guest speakers last semester, including the UC Provost Beverly Davenport. And we are right now working on lining up our keynote speakers for our group sessions this year as well, successful women who would broaden the horizons of our mentors and mentees and the possibilities in front of them.
That's fantastic. So those are the activities that you have planned. So you have the sessions, the speakers, and that sort of thing. Is there anything else you have planned?
Like last year we had some very inspirational speakers who were former students of Claremont. Some had transferred on to Clifton campus into programs. Another was working out in the community. So that brought in a nice community linkage. But they talked about barriers they had faced and all that they overcame to complete their education and what they had achieved. And they were very inspiring for the students. So we hope to do that again. And also let the students kind of drive the process, where some of them mentioned maybe field trips. So we have to see the mix of disciplines we have this year and what they might like to do.
That's fantastic.
We're also planning on some training sessions and like career options trainings and assertiveness, as you mentioned, and communication skills, gender issues. So we're looking at many different topics that would be supposedly interesting for all the participants.
And how many students and mentees are you looking to take on this year for this program?
Last year we had roughly 10 mentors and 10 mentees.
Oh, that's
and this
great.
year we've just started recruiting, and we have almost 10 people interested already. So I hope it may be double that size this year, we would hope.
We hope we'll be able to handle double that size. But this year, what is different, that last year's participants actually came back as co-organizers and co-facilitators.
Oh, that's
So it's not
great.
just the two of us this year. We have a big team of helpers, and we have already a team that is responsible for recruitment and pairing, a team that is responsible for guest speakers and agendas for the meetings. There are some people who are suggesting some training sessions. So we kind of distributed the responsibilities this year.
That's wonderful. So if someone's tuning in to the show and they're thinking, gosh, that's a great program, I think that, I could be a great resource or a speaker, or I know somebody, they can just contact you directly, and your information will be, part of the show. So they can contact you and let you know. I'm sure you'd welcome that.
Absolutely, via email mostly, right? That we would like to be contacted by potential mentors or mentees, and we will direct them to the application process through Blackboard.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And I know last year you did a survey, and you also had a chance to talk to your students, your mentors and your mentees. And what were some of the responses that you received post-program?
I think generally students, many mentioned they felt empowered. There was a lot of use of that term of feeling empowered. They really noted that they had increased their sense of community and had developed a really positive and supportive relationship with their mentor or mentee. So many felt they were getting greater encouragement and support. and that they had gathered a lot of information that they needed about transitioning and academic programs and
That's great.
the university system. And so I think a lot of encouragement, support, and information.
Good.
And also new relationships that they established with both other students and the faculty members.
There seems to be a barrier for sometimes for the students at UC Claremont College to feel like they can transition down to the main campus in Clifton. So obviously something like this will help them. What were some of the tips that the mentees gave them about this? Were you able to witness some of that?
You know, one thing I remember was one of the mentors, their mentee was someone who was very reluctant to go down toward the campus and had never been on the Uptown campus. And their mentor brought them with them to class. And afterwards, they really did say they felt more comfortable and they thought they were much more likely to want to go again. And
that's great.
So I think just bringing someone there makes a great difference. And for them to see all the wonderful things going on the Uptown campus was an eye-opener. Oh, how exciting. And not just scary, but a lot going on and excitement and a great environment.
So what is the process of pairing the mentors and the mentees together?
Well, at this point, we're accepting applications, and once we have the applications already on file, we have that recruitment and pairing team, several people who will sit down together and will look at all the profiles and develop the recommendations depending on the disciplines that the students are in, their career goals, depending on their availability, and many other criteria that are inbuilt in those applications, and give everybody, every mentor and mentee, several suggestions on who would be their good match. And then after that, at the first meeting, we will have that activity when the mentors will be sitting at the desks and mentees will circulate around talking to different mentors, and then hopefully by the end of that session, everybody will find their perfect match.
Really? That's interesting. So they actually will try to connect with the right person. Oh, good. And that was successful last year.
Yeah, mostly. We had a little mismatch. There was maybe one or two mentors that took on two mentees.
Okay.
But they were happy with that, and it seemed to work out fine. So depending on the mix of disciplines, we'll try to pair people with someone in the same or similar discipline. And then they also can talk together and sign an agreement, kind of come to their own agreement of what they will expect from each other and what they expect to happen.
And speaking of the availability, we recommend about 2 hours a week of interaction between a mentor and mentee, but it can be absolutely adjusted to the people's needs and their schedules and their availability, so it's not a critical requirement there.
Okay. Well, that's good. Will you post the results of this someplace? We're getting ready to wrap up the show, but I want to make sure if someone's interested in finding out about the results, will you post it someplace, or how will folks be able to find it?
You know, we will. We're already scheduled to speak at a conference. There's a national mentoring symposium in Indianapolis coming up on the weekend, and we were going to report on and discuss our program from last year. So we had in mind that we would try to share widely and communicate with anyone else on any of the UC campuses that are working on similar kinds of programs to coordinate.
Wonderful. Well, great. Well, I thank you both for coming on the show and talking about this wonderful program. It's a valuable tool for our students, and it builds really a nice sense of community. Thank you for joining us on College Connection. I really appreciate you coming out. And I thank you for joining us on College Connection, and I hope you join us next time.